do you mean I'm late? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not late. What do you mean? No, I'm definitely not late. Whoever said that is wrong. I'm not late. I'm on time. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another English Addict Live. It's showtime, baby. It sure is. Yes, showtime. We are here again on a Sunday, and it's Mr. Duncan on YouTube. Yes, here I am once more with another hour of English live every single week. For those who are wondering, of course, I have changed my times. There are some new times for those who are wondering. Yes, new times, and here they are right now. So now there is no way that you won't know when I am on YouTube. Yes, we are here again today. I hope you've had a good weekend. How was your weekend? Of course, we are coming towards the end of the weekend because today is Sunday. So much going on at the moment, I tell you, because, can I just tell you something? Something wonderful happened yesterday. Would you like to have a look at what happened yesterday? I'm going to show you right now, because yesterday we had some snow. Oh yes, the snow fell yesterday. The first snow of this winter. So there you can see the view yesterday out of the window as the snow was falling. And as you know, I get very excited by the snow. As you saw a few moments ago, I was making a little snow angel. However, that wasn't yesterday. So the video clip that you saw of me doing my snow angel, that wasn't yesterday, unfortunately, because we didn't have that much snow. In fact, the snow didn't last for very long and everything went back to normal. However, it is definitely autumn at the moment. You can see the trees in the distance. And this is something I filmed this morning as the sun was rising. And you can see outside there are some lovely trees, all of them turning, changing colour, because now it is autumn. Yes. Autumn is definitely in the air. I think it is safe to say that autumn has definitely arrived. So there was the view this morning, looking out of the window. It is a very bright day today, very lovely, quite pleasant, in fact, to look at. However, it is very cold. So it really does feel as if winter is on the way. In fact, just to prove that we've had some snow, if you look right now into the distance out of my window, you will see that there is actually snow in the distance. So there is a live view right now looking out of the window, and you can see in the distance all of the lovely mountains in the distance. Looking out towards Wales, you can see all of the mountains are covered in snow. They have snow all across them because they are very high up. So yes, we did have some snow. A lot of snow fell in certain places yesterday, and I can officially say that we now have snow. So I'm pretty excited about that, to be honest. As you know, I always get very excited when it snows, and today is no exception. Can I say thank you very much to Mr. Steve for making a lovely cup of coffee a few moments before I started my live stream. So thank you, Steve, for taking care of my needs. And here is a lovely cup of coffee. So thank you, Steve. I hope at the moment you have a lovely hot beverage in front of you as well. So it is Sunday, it's live, English Addict. And as I said earlier, this is something I started last week. In fact, you might not even be aware that I've started some new style of live stream because maybe you didn't see them. So I did start last week, Wednesday, Friday and Sunday. I will be with you live on YouTube and every week as well. So you can catch me all the time. We have important things to do right now because the live chat is also up and running. So let's have a look. Who was first today? Oh, hello to Martha. Martha in Poland, guess what? You are first on today's live chat. Oh, it's so exciting. So I love the live chat. In fact, if it wasn't for you being there on the live chat, I would have nothing to say, to be honest, because there would be no one there. Hello to everyone. Hello, Martha, Blue Thunder, Julie, Christina. Hello, Christina. Also, Eric, Connell, Business, Win, or New Win, depending on how you want to pronounce it. There are some names in Vietnamese that are very hard to pronounce, and I think Business Nguyen is one of them. So I hope I pronounce your name right. Denek Seba says hi as well. Where are you watching at the moment? I am always interested to find out where people are watching when you are sitting down in front of your computer or mobile device. Where are you watching? I'm always interested to find out. Lots of things coming up today. We are talking about doing this. When you perform something. Have you ever performed? Have you ever given a performance in your life? So what about you? Have you ever done this? Have you ever given a performance in your life ever? So if you've ever maybe performed in public, you've done something in front of lots of people, maybe you have sung a song, maybe you have acted, maybe you have put on some sort of performance, maybe you read a story or some poetry. So today we are talking all about performing and giving performances. When you make a performance, you give a performance, you put on a show, you do something for people. So you perform, you put on a performance. Perform. So this is the action. To perform something is to carry it out as a verb. And the thing you are doing is a performance. So this is the noun. The performance. You perform in a performance. We'll be talking all about that later on because it's showtime. I like this expression. So whenever you start a show, whenever you do something and you want everyone to get excited about it, especially the people doing it. Because there is one thing I have to say, performing live is very hard. It isn't easy. So this is something that I often use to get me excited because I'm about to do something live. So this is something that I always say to myself before I start my live stream. It's showtime. It's time to begin the show. So that's why we do that, to be honest with you. Hello to Rolfie. Hi, Rolfie. Nice to see you here today. Of course, today is a special day. It is Remembrance Sunday this morning. Many things took place across the country and in many parts of the world as well. Beshiate says hello. Also, Palmyra is here. Pachu. Hello, Pachu. Nice to see you back again with us. Also, Isabella. Hello, Isabella. Thanks for joining me today. Massimo. Hello, Massimo. Nice to see you as well. A lot of people joining today on a Sunday. I do appreciate that you give up your time to join me right here on YouTube. Oh, hello, Pedro. This is the new look, just in case you haven't seen it. This is the new appearance, the new name, English Addict. So if you are like me, you are crazy about English, we can describe you as an English addict. We often think of the word addict as being a bad thing, but of course you can be addicted to anything, something that you love so much that you really can't stop doing it. So I think it is a good thing to be addicted to learning something new. So the English Addict is the name of this live stream. Hello also to Maria. Thank you, Maria, for joining me today. Also to Luis. Hello, Luis Mendez, one of our moderators. So please behave yourself. We don't want any rudeness or any naughty things taking place today, unless it's absolutely necessary. Christina, yes, it is cold outside. Have a look outside at the moment. It is absolutely freezing outside at the moment. And there is the view looking into the distance right now. And you can see all of the hills in the distance are covered in snow. So yes, we had some snow yesterday. You know what? I can't resist showing you the snow again. So there it is. That is the snow falling yesterday. And I think one of the most pleasing sights that nature can give is snow falling. I think snowfall is absolutely lovely. I really do love watching the snow fall, especially when you're inside. So if you are in the house looking outside, there is something so wonderful about watching the snow fall. And today, well, today outside, it looks like this. There is no snow falling. However, in the distance, you can see many of the mountains are covered in snow. So there is a lot of snow around at the moment. Lots of snow to enjoy. It's live English for you, English addicts watching out there. Hello, Theo. Hello also, Mavi, Irene. Also to Noemi. Hello to you as well. If it is your first time watching, let me know. Please tell me. Please say, Mr. Duncan, I've never said hello before, and I might give you something special. Ooh, very nice. Hello to Zuzika. Hi, Mr. Duncan. Very happy to be here learning English. This is one of the best places in the world to come to because it's live. Everything you see and hear is spontaneous. So one of the best ways of learning English, I think, is to learn it live. So you are there watching live, and I am here teaching live. We are talking about performing today, and I think that teaching is very similar to performing on the stage. So I always think that the front of the classroom is the stage, and the students in the classroom are the audience. So that's always the way I look at teaching. I think if you want to be a good teacher, you have to be a bit of a performer. You have to be able to stand up and do something that's extra special. So I think sometimes being a teacher means also being a good actor or actress. I don't want to offend anyone. Hello to Vinara. Hello to you. Thanks for joining me today. Also Tanya. Hello Tanya. Nice to see you back as well. One of the things that always warms my heart, honestly, my heart becomes warm with a lovely glow every time I see my regular viewers. So it's lovely that so many people now come back week after week to watch my live streams. So thank you very much. It's very kind of you to do that. Hello, TS. Is it early for snow? Well, we are approaching mid-November. We are coming towards the middle of November. So actually, during November, you can get snow. So it's not unusual. In fact, in the past, we've had snow in late October. So you can have snow in November and early December. It's not unusual, I will be honest with you. So that was the view yesterday outside. We had some lovely snow falling, and at the moment you can see in the distance lots of snow on the mountains. So it's all very exciting, I must admit. In fact, this morning I got very distracted by all of the beautiful views, and that's one of the reasons why I was a little bit late starting, for which I apologise. Rajav says, I am weak in speaking English and I want to speak it fluently. Will this course help me to learn English? Well, of course, yes, that's the reason why we are here. We are all here to share and also to learn. So I will help you as much as I can. And by listening, it will improve your listening skills and also give you more confidence. So part of speaking English isn't just about learning the words, it's also about learning to be confident. I think so. Henrique, hello to you. I like the way you use the English language so tenderly. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Hello also to Sueli Perez, a very beautiful place. Thank you very much. Yes, it does feel as if autumn has already disappeared, even though it's still autumn. So technically, it is still autumn here in the UK, even though it's very cold outside. But I suppose at this time of year, as we head towards December, it will definitely start to feel like winter is in the air. Hello to J Gold. I agree with you. The snow is very nice. I always want to play in the snow. Yes, me too. As you saw earlier on, I do like playing in the snow, definitely. Hello, Rosa, Mr. Duncan. Hello, everybody. It is a rainy morning in Brazil. However, it is 25 Celsius. You are very lucky, because this morning, when I woke up, it was just below 0. Freezing cold outside. Saturino, thanks for joining me. I do like autumn, or as some people call it, fall. So in the United States, they will often describe autumn as fall. Here in the UK, we call it autumn. So there are different ways of describing that particular season. Hello to Flower. I am sitting in my living room. But do you have a cup of coffee? I have a cup of coffee. What are you drinking at the moment? Maybe something hot, maybe something cold, maybe something strong, perhaps. Hello, Monlisa. Hello, teacher. I am watching from Thailand. Hello, Monlisa. And it's great to see you here today. Thank you for joining me on Sunday. Thank you for joining me and giving up your time. We are going to take a look at an excerpt from one of my full English lessons. On my YouTube channel, there are many lessons, and I often like to show you some of the lessons that exist on my YouTube channel. So here we go. Here is an excerpt from one of my full English lessons where I talk about lots of different subjects whilst helping you to learn new words. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you? Oh, wait there a moment. Something's wrong here. Oh, there you are. I'm very sorry. I was facing the wrong way. I had my back to you. Well, here we are once again with another edition of Mr. Duncan's Full English. Yes, another serving of piping hot English is about to be served. So please take your seats and let the Full English soiree begin. Oh, by the way, soiree is a French word meaning evening meal or social gathering. Can you see what sort of day it is here? The weather today is cold and icy. There is frost on the ground and the air is frigid. The word frigid means cold. It can also be used to describe a person who is unemotional and cold-hearted. If a person shows no affection towards others in any way, or seems distant and uninterested in making friends, we can say that they are frigid. The word refrigerator derives from the word frigid, and the word frigid derives from the Latin word for cold. Talking of which, there is a harsh frost on the ground here today, which is caused by moisture freezing on the surface of the ground. Today is a chilly day. It's an icy one. It's nippy. It's colder than a penguin's breakfast. If I was given the choice between being hot or feeling cold, I know which one I would choose. I'm not a fan of the cold weather. I find going out on a freezing day tiring. Your body uses up much more energy when it is cold, so you get tired easily. Your hands and feet become numb, and if there is a cold wind too, then your face will freeze to the point where you cannot speak. Oh yes, I'm very sure that if I was given the choice, I would always choose a hot day over a cold one, every time. Whilst walking out on a day like this, you are bound to come across some patches of ice. You might even find a frozen area, such as a pool or lake. There is an idiom in English that relates to ice. If a person is doing something that might get them into trouble, we can say that they are skating on thin ice or treading on thin ice. This person is running the risk of being punished. They are tempting fate by doing something dangerous or risky. The boss has noticed that you keep coming in late for work. You are really skating on thin ice. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. An excerpt from one of my full English lessons, and all of those lessons are available on my YouTube channel. They sure are. Hi everybody, yes, we are back live on a Sunday. It's myself, Mr. Duncan. For those who don't know who I am, I teach English on YouTube, and that is what I have been doing for over 13 years. Can you believe it? So just in case you don't know, now you do know. So it's Sunday. I hope you are well today. We are talking about giving a performance. So what happens when you stand up and you give a performance? Well, we can say that you perform something. So if you perform an activity or perform something that you are doing for entertainment, then we say that you perform it. You carry out something. You do something for other people, or you do something to help another person. For example, if you are a doctor, then you might perform an operation. So you carry out, you perform, you do something. So sometimes you will perform a thing, especially for one person. You perform surgery. You perform an operation on your patient. And performance is quite often used to describe a show or something that is being done for entertainment purposes. However, have you ever put on a show? Have you ever performed? Have you ever done a performance ever in your life? You might describe teaching as being a type of performance. I think so. A few moments ago, I was asked if it is more important for the teacher to be a good performer or for the student to be good at learning. Well, to be honest with you, my answer to that is both. Both are important. So I always think that a good teacher will often bring out the good things in the student. So even if a student doesn't feel like learning, a good teacher will persuade them. They will use maybe their character, or maybe they will do things that are interesting to that particular person. So there are many ways of being a good teacher, but also sometimes a good teacher has to persuade their students to learn. And sometimes the student has to be willing to learn the subject. So yes, it is very complex. It isn't a simple thing. It looks easy. But can I tell you now, I think teaching is one of the hardest jobs in the world. It really is. And I always respect anyone who does that for a living. I really do. Can I just say that cup of coffee was very nice. Thank you, Mr. Steve. We will be talking about Steve a little bit later on because, as you know, Steve often performs. He likes to appear on stage. Let's have a quick look at a photograph. And here is Mr. Steve doing something on stage. So this is something I'm going to look at later, but here is Steve on the stage right now. There it is. Can you see the picture? Mr. Steve is on the right of the photograph. You can see that he is dressed as a character from one of the stories written by Charles Dickens. And this is a performance of A Christmas Carol that Steve starred in about 4 years ago. He was playing Scrooge, Ebenezer Scrooge. So there is Steve on the screen right now. When he was acting on the stage, he was giving a performance. But what about you? Have you ever put on a performance? Have you ever sung a song? Or maybe you have appeared in a show with other people? Or maybe you did something solo. Oh, I like that word, solo. So when we think of solo, we think of something you do on your own, solo. And I suppose also the word solitude is connected to that word. So when we talk about solitude, it means you are doing something in a place where you are alone or you are isolated. And the word solo means to do something by yourself. So maybe you sing a song solo. You do it by yourself. I'm sure many Star Wars fans will have another use of that word. I think so. I really do. Hello to Chris Morales. I used to be a folk art dancer. I didn't mention dancing, did I? So dancing is something that you need a lot of confidence to do. When I was young, I was a very good dancer. So Chris Morales says, I used to be a folk art dancer when I was abroad in Indonesia. And my group represented the Philippines, and I made a performance in a special event for the ambassadors and even the president of Indonesia. So, wow. So, in fact, Chris Morales has performed in front of very important people. Wow, congratulations. That sounds very good. So have you ever performed in front of people like Chris and Mr. Steve? Saturino, hello to Christina and also Lewis. Hello to Belarusia. Oh, hello, Belarusia. I didn't see you there. I'm sorry about that. I have seen you now. There you are. Hi, welcome. Sorry I missed you out. Can I say a big hello to you and your family, of course? I hope everything is okay there. Ahmed, Mr. Duncan, are you for... This is a very big change of subject. A big change of subject. Ahmed is asking Mr. Duncan, are you for or against leaving the EU? And why, Mr. Duncan, why don't you make an episode about the benefits and harms of leaving or Britain leaving the EU? It's actually the UK, the United Kingdom, that is planning to leave the European Union. It is a very complicated subject, and of course I have to be very careful what I say because I'm here teaching. I'm not here to talk about politics. However, I have made a lesson all about the situation that we are in at the moment. So there is a lesson on my YouTube channel all about the situation where the United Kingdom is trying, and next year in January it will be the third time that we've tried to leave the European Union. So it isn't going very well. In fact, it's caused so many problems, we will be looking for a new government next month. So we are having a big election next month. So, yes. What about me? What do I think? Do you think that I agree or disagree? So what do you think? What do you think I think? If that makes sense. Hello also to Vishan. Hello Vishan, nice to see you here. Vishan Rathor, or that could be Rathor. Hello, Vishan. Nice to see you here. It's your first time saying hello. Oh, really? I think that deserves something very special. It's nice to see you here today. Very nice. Rolfie, that feeling when I'm watching Mr. Duncan and somebody interrupts by knocking the door. Yes, there is nothing worse than being disturbed. Yes, when you are disturbed, it means someone interrupts. They break your concentration. Maybe you are doing something and you are enjoying yourself, or maybe you are having to concentrate, and then suddenly something disturbs you. You are interrupted. Vishan, thank you very much. You are welcome. It's always nice to see a new person here on the live stream. Mr. Duncan, can you explain the word Mr. Burko Can you explain the word Mr. Burko in Parliament says? There are many words he says. Well, in fact, he's just left. So last week he actually left his position. So the leader of the House of Commons, Parliament, many people refer to it as Parliament. So the Speaker in the House of Commons has all of the authority, so he can direct the way in which Parliament works. And yes, there are many words and phrases that he uses. For example, he will often say, order, order, order. Now, when he says order, he's actually asking everyone to be quiet and calm down. So when Mr. Burko, the Speaker of the House of Commons, says, order, order, he's actually asking everyone to be quiet. He's politely telling them to shut up. So I hope that helps you. But yes, there are many words that are used in the British Parliament, and many of them date back maybe 400 or 500 years. So that is the reason why some of the words seem very unusual. Noemi, I have performed a few times in my childhood. I was a fairy and also a butterfly, although it isn't for me. So Noemi tried acting when she was a youngster, and you played a fairy. Now, I always wanted to play a fairy at school. They would never let me. I don't know why. It's not fair. Maria, I think you want the UK to stay in Europe, says Maria. I see. Very interesting. So what do you think I think? What do you think my opinion is? Do I want the UK to stay in the European Union or leave? You see how clever I am sometimes. So what I'm doing, I'm actually avoiding having to say what my opinion is. You see? Mr. Duncan, you're very sneaky. So when you perform, we can say that you put on a show. You put on a show. You do something for the entertainment of other people. So you might describe this as a show. So you might say that Mr. Duncan's English Addict show is a sort of performance. So the English Addict live stream is a show, I suppose. So we could describe it as a show, or maybe a performance, something you are doing for other people to enjoy. At least, I hope you're enjoying it. When you perform, you put on something. So if you put on a show, you put on a show. So the show is something you are doing. You put on a show. So when you put on something, well, first of all, it can mean wear. So maybe you put on a hat. You put on a tie. You can also put on a show. So maybe you arrange the actors, you arrange the performance, you get everything ready, and then everyone will come onto the stage and perform the show. They perform the show. They put on a show. They put on a show. So there are many ways of describing this. You can also stage a show. So this word is very interesting in the fact that it can be used as both a noun and verb. So stage is the thing that you stand on as a noun. So you stand on a stage. But also you can stage a show, which means to perform the thing. So you stage something as a verb. You might do something that you want people to believe is real. And we can also use the word stage as well. So maybe you stage a robbery. You stage, I don't know, a reenactment of an old battle. So stage can also mean perform. And I suppose here is a word everyone is familiar with. You act. Act. So again, act can be used in many ways. When we think of acting, we think of a person performing, or maybe they are being someone else. They are not being genuine. So maybe a person who is pretending to be upset or angry, but really they're not. We can say that they act. A person might act surprised. They act. So it is the way they perform, their expression, or maybe the thing they do, their reaction. You act. And of course, this is based on the word action. So an action is something you do. You act. Act. There are many ways of using the word act. As I said, you can act up. If you act up, it means you misbehave, you cause trouble, you create problems. So you act up. So a person who acts up is a person who is causing disruption or chaos. A child will often act up. They will misbehave. They will start crying. They will be very awkward and angry or upset. So if someone acts up, they act up. They create disruption. Also, act on. This means to carry out something or a reaction to something. So if you act on something, it means you react. So when we describe a person's reaction and the way they react, we can say that they act on a certain feeling. So you can act on your instinct, the thing you feel. So something you feel in your mind or heart, you act on it. You act on that feeling. To do something, to react. Let's have a look at the live chat. Lots of people saying hello. Hello to everyone. Nice to see you all here today. On this beautiful day, looking out the window, you can see in the distance there is a lot of snow on the hills. In the distance, it's a beautiful day today. It's beautiful. Hello, Max Lewis. Hello, Max. Nice to see you here. Mr. Duncan, I have an English literature mock GCSE tomorrow. Good luck with your mock exams. So when we say mock, we mean something that is unreal. So something that looks real, feels real, but isn't. It isn't real. So if you have a mock exam, it means it is giving you a flavour. It is giving you the feeling of doing an exam. So a mock exam. Very useful things. A very good idea, in fact, to have a mock exam. And then people will know exactly what is expected of them when the real exam comes along. So you can get results from your mock exam, and then that will give you an idea of how well you will do in the real exam. Or, of course, maybe it is a good way of finding out if you need to do more work to improve your score. So all the best, Max Lewis. Can I say good luck with your forthcoming English Literature GCSE exam. Vishan, what is the difference between few, and little? Well, little can define size. So size can be little, or of course, when we are talking about time, it can be short. So little has more uses. We can use little in many ways. However, few often means not many. So a few people, a few days, not many. However, little has more uses, and quite often few and little can't be used together. Palmyra, thank you, Mr. Duncan, for explaining. I knew the meaning, but not how to spell it. Oh, okay, you are welcome. No problem. Silvio. Silvio has made a very interesting spelling mistake. I don't often laugh at the live chat, but there is a brilliant Silvio. It is uncountable. Countable and uncountable. Okay? There is an O in that word. There is definitely an O in that word. Hello, Ahmed. I think you want to stay in the European Union, Mr. Duncan, says Ahmed. I see. Oh, very interesting. Hello, Anna. I think you would remain in the EU because you love us. Thank you, Anna. You might be right there. Who knows? You might be right. Hello to Tias. As I remember, you have mentioned that you choose to leave the EU, but I'm not sure. What do you think? Do you think I want to leave or remain? Very interesting. It is a big subject, of course. Hello to Rolfie again. My computer has been acting up. Very good. Yes, I like that. I like that. Very good. So if your computer... I'm having difficulty with my paper today. If your computer is acting up, it means it's not working properly. It is acting up. So something that will act up is not working properly. It is causing a problem. Children often act up. They do. If you perform on stage, we can also say that you pretend. I love this word, pretend. Who, as a child, didn't pretend? We all did. I used to pretend to be a character from Star Wars. It's true, I'm not joking. Because I'm very, very old, I remember when Star Wars was a new thing. Way back in 1978, when I went to see Star Wars for the first time. 1978. And I used to pretend to be a certain character from Star Wars. But can you guess which character I used to pretend to be at school? Oh dear. So pretend means to do something, but you are not really that thing. You are pretending. You are acting. So you might say that acting is also about pretending. You pretend. You play act. So when you play act, you pretend. So you're not really doing the thing you appear to be doing. You pretend. When you are acting on stage, we can say that you tread the boards. I love this expression. So there is an expression that means to go on the stage, to act on stage. You tread the boards. You go on stage. You act like Mr. Steve. Here's another photograph of Steve. Would you like to see another picture of Mr. Steve? Here he is. Here's another photograph of Mr. Steve acting on stage. Ooh, and there he is on the left this time. And that is Steve appearing in a production of A Christmas Carol, which is a story by Charles Dickens. A very seasonal story, all about Christmas time. So Steve appeared, I think this is about 4 years ago, when Mr. Steve was on the stage performing in A Christmas Carol, and he did a very good job of it. Between you and me, Mr. Steve is a very good actor. He really is. Very good. Chris asks, Mr. Duncan, what does it mean to act upon? If you act upon something, then once again it is react. So maybe a certain situation comes along and you act upon it. You act upon that thing. So maybe there is a terrible situation or difficulty. There is a problem. You have to act upon that thing. The circumstances or the situation that you find yourself in, you must act upon that thing. Valentin is here. Hi, everybody. I am thinking about working in the British Parliament. Oh, I see. I think working in the British Parliament is a bit of a performance. And Mr. Speaker's position is now vacant. Well, in fact, someone has actually been elected. So Mr. Burko left last week, but now a new speaker has been elected. I think his name is Lindsay. Lindsay. It is a man. It is a man. A lot of people wanted a female speaker, but of course, a few years ago, there was a female speaker in the House of Commons. Her name was Betty Boothroyd. What a great name. I love that name so well. Crystal says, Mr. Duncan, you performed very well in November. In October, I did a live stream every day. Yes, thank you very much for that. Sahal. Mr. Duncan, sometimes when you are reading a passage approximately 1 or 2 pages, it might happen to understand fully. But when you try to write it again, you realise that you don't know anything. What is wrong? Hello, Sahal. When you read something, sometimes you might need to read it more than once. So this is something I've mentioned in the past about learning new words or learning a new skill. Sometimes you have to repeat the thing many times. Not 1 time or 2 times or twice, but maybe 10 times, 20 times, 100 times until you feel comfortable with that thing. So learning anything is often about repetition, repeating things. So maybe when you read something, maybe you don't understand it. Maybe you don't understand the meaning. But this is something you have to get used to. Another good way of remembering words is to write things down. Copy something, maybe a book that you're interested in. So never be afraid to repeat yourself. Never be afraid to repeat the thing you are learning. Never. Don't worry about it. It is perfectly normal. Saturino says, "Don't worry, Mr. Duncan. You and all the UK will remain in the European Union." Okay, we will see what happens. We will see. Pedro wants to become a politician. Well, the good thing about being a politician is that everyone has the chance to do it. I could be a politician if I wanted to. I'm not sure which party I would belong to. Am I right wing? So am I on the right or on the left? Who knows? Sometimes I'm a little bit of both. Sometimes I'm in the middle. It just depends on what the topic is. Mr. Duncan, have you ever met a person from Vietnam? Yes, I have, Dave. I have quite a few friends who were from Vietnam. They came here during the 1980s when a lot of Vietnamese people came to settle here in the UK. So yes, I do. I do know some Vietnamese people. Sally, Mr. Duncan, can you please explain the word pedantic? A person who is pedantic is fussy, or they analyse something too much. They always pick tiny things, especially when they are talking about mistakes. So maybe a person makes a very small mistake, and a pedantic person will always point out that mistake. It happens to me sometimes. So because I do this live, sometimes I make little mistakes. And there is always one person somewhere, pedantic. They will pick that one mistake. So a person who is pedantic can be fussy, choosy, or maybe they are a person who picks on small mistakes or tiny errors that someone has made. Hello to Belarusia. Nice to see you here. Also, Dave is here again. Yes, I have met some Vietnamese people. Yes, I made friends with some Vietnamese people who lived in Birmingham. Hello, Pedro again. Hello, Vishan. I can't understand the difference between few and little. I think I mentioned that already. Have I answered that question already? Maybe I'm going around and round in time. I don't know. Maybe I'm stuck in the same day like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. So when I was at school, I used to pretend to be a certain character from Star Wars. So we are going back many years. So not the late Star Wars films. I'm talking about the first Star Wars film that was released originally in 1977, although it wasn't released here in the UK until 1978. So in the United States, the original Star Wars was released in 1977. Here in the UK, it was released early the following year in 1978. But which Star Wars character did I used to play? I will give you an example of the sort of thing I used to do. Oh. What a desolate place this is. Oh. There'll be no escape for the princess this time. So who was I at school? Who did I used to play the part of? I used to love pretending to be this particular character. Thank you, Isabella. Isabella has got it right. Well done. Hello also to Sassy. Hello, Sassy. Hello, Mr. Duncan. I am able to write. I was only able to watch and listen. However, thank you for explaining about giving opinions. I watched it with enthusiasm. I'm pleased to hear that, Sassy. Well done, and thank you very much. For all you English addicts out there, I will be with you not once a week, not twice a week, but 3 times a week. You can catch me live on YouTube on Sunday, Wednesday and Friday from 2 p.m. UK time. So don't forget, we have some new times. English Addict Live on. If I can get my finger in the right place. So Sunday, also Wednesday and Friday. So 3 times a week you can have my live streams. English Addict Live. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. Please. Don't forget to subscribe and also like as well, even though it makes me sound very desperate. Ankit. Hello, Ankit. Nice to see you here today. We are talking about performing. If you want to be an actor, if you want to appear in a play or a musical, you can take to the stage. I love this expression. So if you take to the stage, it means you stand up and perform. You take to the stage. So maybe you decide that in your life you want to be an actor, like Mr. Steve wants to be an actor. You take to the stage. So this can be used in more than one way. If you take to the stage, it means you start acting, you want to be a professional actor. Also, it can mean to walk onto the stage. So the stage is the place where you perform. You might describe this as my stage. So maybe this little box that you are staring at the moment, that I am trapped inside, is my stage. So this is actually my stage that I'm standing on at the moment. So if you take to the stage, it means you start performing. I like that. Of course, when you want to be a performer, when you want to sing a song or maybe act in a play, you have to do this. You have to rehearse. Rehearse. So rehearse means to do something as a way of practicing. So maybe something you are going to perform in the future. You have to rehearse. You have to do something again and again and again until you get it right. So if you want to be an actor, quite often you will have to rehearse the show. You will have to do something as a way of practicing to make sure that you get it right. Another picture of Mr. Steve on stage. So here is another one. I like this picture. This is my favourite picture of Mr. Steve acting on stage. And there he is. So Mr. Steve there playing the part of Ebenezer Scrooge in A Christmas Carol. So Steve was playing the part of Ebenezer Scrooge, and of course A Christmas Carol is a very famous play, also musical, and a book written by Charles Dickens. In fact, did you know that there is actually a video on my YouTube channel where I read the whole story of A Christmas Carol? It's true. So you can actually read, watch and also listen to the story of A Christmas Carol on my YouTube channel. So what are you waiting for? Go on, watch my super duper lessons. You know you want to. You know you want to. resistance is futile. So when you rehearse something, we often say you run through. So if you run through something, it means you practice. So maybe you have to give a speech to some of your classmates. So you have to rehearse. You have to think about what you are going to say. So you might rehearse your speech that you are going to give to your classmates. You run through. So when we say run through, in this particular sense, it means you practice. You run through. You practice the thing in question. So when you run through, it means you practice. Here are some lovely expressions now connected to going on stage. I like this very much. Curtain up and down. So we can say curtain up or curtain down. Curtain up, curtain down. So when the curtain is up, it means it comes up and it reveals the person on stage. So quite often when we say curtain up, it means the beginning of a performance, the start of a performance. So something begins when the curtain comes up. And the opposite is curtain down. Curtain down. So when the curtain comes down, it means the show has ended. The show has come to an end. It has finished. And we are approaching the curtain down right now. I know what you're going to say. Mr. Duncan, it's not fair. Please, don't go just yet. Okay then, I have some more words for you before I go. A person who watches something, so maybe you are on the stage performing, we call them the audience. So the people watching a performance is called audience. So the people watching are there enjoying your show, hopefully. So you are my audience. An audience can also be a verb as well. So audience can also mean to meet. So when you meet someone, you have a meeting, you have an audience. An audience. So actually as an adjective or as a noun. So an audience. So the audience is watching, they are there watching your show. And of course, spectators as well. So the spectators are the people who are watching. In fact, this is the one that can be used as a verb. Spectate. So when you spectate, it means you watch. You watch. You are watching a performance. So the spectators are the audience, the people watching. Spectate is the action. So you're watching the thing that is happening. Thank you very much for your company today. Lots of people are here on the live chat. Hello also to Chris. Yes, curtain up and curtain down are used in expression, in talking. Yes, they are. We will often say the curtain comes up when you begin, and the curtain comes down when it ends. We can often use curtains as an expression to mean the end of something. Maybe a person dies, or maybe something terrible happens to them. We can say that it is curtains for them. I don't know why you keep putting that on there, so I will do that. There we go. That's better. Hello, Belarusia again. Yes, you have a lot of viewers today. Thank you very much for that. And I do appreciate you coming along. Sometimes when you want to perform something, you have to do it in many different places. So maybe you will perform in one town or one city, one place. However, you might decide to go on the road. If you go on the road, it means you go around the country. You tour. So you go on tour. You travel around from place to place, performing your show, or maybe performing your play, or something that you are doing on stage. Another form of performance, something I haven't mentioned, is magic as well. So maybe a performance can be magic. So maybe you are doing some magic tricks. Maybe you are making a rabbit appear out of a top hat. Or maybe doing some psychic trick. Maybe you are reading people's minds in the audience. In fact, I'm feeling something now. I can feel something coming from my audience. It's coming through now, through the screen. I can feel it. You are thinking, Mr. Duncan, when are you going? When are you going to stop this live stream? That's what you're thinking right now, isn't it? You see, I am psychic. I should go on the road with my performance. So when you go on the road, it means you travel around performing in different places. So you are on the road. You are travelling around performing your show. One more before we go. Here is the last word. And this is something you can use when you are performing on stage, or maybe if lots of people are watching you. So maybe you are getting lots of attention from many people. We can say that you are in the spotlight. A person who is in the spotlight is a person who is getting lots of attention. They are the centre of attention. So if you find yourself in the spotlight, this can be a good thing or a bad thing. So sometimes you can be in the spotlight for bad reasons, and sometimes you can be in the spotlight for good reasons. So at the moment, I am in the spotlight because I'm here doing this live. So much pressure in the spotlight. So maybe a certain person is being talked about in the news. Maybe a person is being talked about a lot. So at the moment, a lot of people are talking about President Trump. So we could say that he is always in the spotlight. Maybe people are talking about the new Terminator movie, which is awful and terrible, and not many people seem to like it. So you might say that the new Terminator film is in the spotlight. Lots of people are focusing their attention on that film because it's not very good. Let's hope that Arnold will not be back. Hello, Eric. Hello, Massimo. We are going soon. One last look outside to show you just how beautiful the view is today. It's gorgeous. In the distance, you can see there is lots of snow on the mountains. Oh, and another thing I haven't shown you, the birds in the garden. Although they seem very shy for some reason. I don't know why. The birds appear to be very shy. I think Mr. Steve might be outside disturbing the birds. Maybe that's the reason why. Anyway, I am going in a moment. I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream. Thank you very much to all of those who have joined me today. Thank you, Eric. Thank you also to Massimo. Thank you, Maria. Anna, thank you very much for joining me today. I will be going soon. In the spot opera, can you explain to us? In the spot opera. I'm not quite sure what you are referring to there, Ahmad. I'm not quite sure what you are referring to. However, a lot of people are very interested in opera. Do you like opera? So everybody sings like this. But quite often, opera is performed in Italian. So you will often hear a lot of opera is performed in Italian. And the strange thing is about opera, and this is something that always fascinates me, is that when people sing in operas, they're just talking. So like they're having normal conversations. So an opera normally is just people having normal conversations. Yesterday I went to the dentist. What did the dentist do? He took my tooth out. It was very painful. I don't like the sound of that. That sort of thing. So that's the amusing thing about opera. Quite often opera is just people having normal conversations, except they're singing. Maybe we should do that in real life. Maybe every day we should just sing. So maybe when you go to the shops, you might say, "Good morning, shopkeeper. May I have a loaf of bread?" And then the shopkeeper says, "You certainly may, white or brown." "I want brown bread because it's very healthy." That sort of thing. Hello also to Lamandre, who asks, "Do you eat dogs?" No, because they keep running away. They're very hard to catch. Hello, Julie. Nice performance. Thank you very much. Maybe I should go on tour with my show. Maybe I should travel around the world with my English Addict live tour, maybe. So the character that I used to pretend to be from Star Wars was C-3PO, because a lot of people at school used to say that I reminded them of C-3PO. Oh, Captain Solo. Oh, the chances of successfully navigating an asteroid field are 2,700 to 1. Never tell me the odds. Anybody tuning in for the first time are probably wondering what the hell is going on. Hello to Kevin. Mr. Duncan can be a singer. I'm not sure about that. I'm definitely not sure about that. Hello, Julie, Florence. Thank you very much, Anna. I am going in a moment. I hope you've enjoyed this. So a lot of people seem to think that I am in favour of remaining in the European Union, which is not easy to say. In fact, it's not very easy to say. If you want to get in touch, you can send me an email. You can also follow me on Facebook, and this is how you do it. I'm just slurping on water. Sometimes all you can do is slurp on water. And that's what I was doing then. Sally says, "I love it when you sing my song. Sally, Sally, standing down the alley. I don't know what she's doing over there." That sort of thing. Is that what you're on about? Christelle, bye-bye, Mr. Duncan. Bye-bye, Massimo. Rolfie, wow, you started 10 minutes past 2 and you're still live. You've made up for your lost time. Yes, I do apologise because I was slightly late today for various reasons. One of the reasons was because I was very excited because we had snow yesterday. And I don't know why, I always get very excited when it snows. And one of the things I love doing when it snows, I love making Snow angels. Did you enjoy that? I hope you did, because that's what I was doing there, on the ground, making a snow angel. And that is that. That's all we have time for today. I hope you've enjoyed yourself today. It's been a super long English stream, and thank you very much for all of your lovely messages today. So many people have been watching. Don't forget, you can watch this later. The whole live stream will be saved on YouTube, and there will be captions later on as well, so you can watch everything. I will see you later. Thank you very much for your company today. It's been so nice having you here. Thank you. This is Mr. Duncan in England with you on Sunday, Wednesday and Friday, 2 p.m. UK time, saying thank you very much for watching. I hope you had a good time, and I hope you learnt some new English words. To my fellow English addicts, I will say, ta-ta for now.